Welcome to the Reddit selection, where the wildest, funniest, and most jaw-dropping stories from Reddit come to life. Today we are diving into Amethyst Hole. Sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy the show. Am I the butthole for having an intervention about my husband's parenting? We have a 10-week-old baby. Husband, 28 male, absolutely adores him and wants to spend every available moment with him. I know he wants to be an amazing father. However, he engages in unsafe behaviors like falling asleep on the couch while baby is contact napping, leaving baby on the playmat unattended, while the dog is in the room, or putting baby for a day nap with his bib still on. Husband claims I'm too anxious, making a big deal out of nothing. Baby can't roll yet, and the dog won't hurt him. He holds baby firmly while sleeping, etc. And I admit I don't react calmly, freak out, which makes him act defensive. But he is being unsafe, and it stresses me out. I feel like I can't leave him alone with the baby, which only offends him more. Last week I had enough and asked my Mill and Sil to talk to him. They took my side and ripped him a new one. Now husband is angry that I brought him into it and made a whole intervention like he's such a bad dad. Am I the butthole for insisting my husband change how he acts around the baby and involving his family? Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. Not the butthole, your husband is the asshole. He is doing dangerous things that could genuinely kill the baby. Safe co-sleeping does exist, but not with anyone but the breastfeeding parent for the first few months. Even then, you need to set up a space following the Safe Sleep 7. I am sick of men not educating themselves on this, and forcing you to do the labor of finding sources to teach him how to be a parent when you yourself are new to it too, and then he doesn't even listen to you. I would be livid. If he isn't willing to educate himself, he has to default to your knowledge. He doesn't get a say in any decisions if he's not knowledgeable about anything. Here's the response from OP. We have an attached bedside crib. Husband is perfectly safe sleeping on the bed when baby is next to him in the crib, within reach. I just don't want him sleeping during a couch contact nap. Gather up all the news of people accidentally smothering their infant and anything sides related. It should scare the F out of your husband. It happened to my friend's baby. The dad fell asleep on the couch, rolled over. She came home from work to find them, and it was too late for her son. Absolutely terrifying, and happens way more than it should. This scared the shit out of me with my baby. We were lucky that in Scotland every expecting family gets a free baby box, and you can just use the box itself as a crib. When I was getting too tired, my boy was in the box right away. I used to get such joy doing home visits to people who had a newborn napping in the Scottish baby box. From very affluent people living in a £1 million mansion in Bearsden to poor girls in homeless accommodation in Johnston, all the babies happily snoozing in the same sturdy white box. My sister got the baby boxes for my nieces. I was rather jealous as the government brought them out after I'd had my son. She still has one of the boxes, as a toy box, complete with lots of colored-in scribbles from the kids, and the contents has been passed on to other parents that would need it now. The nibblings have outgrown it. Those baby boxes are amazing. And now for the next story. Am I the butthole for not accepting my parents' foster child as my sister? My 15 female parents have been fostering Julia, 6 female, for the past 7 months. She turned 6 3 days ago, and we celebrated her birthday together. They later told me Julia told them her birthday wish was that I loved her back. I felt so sad and guilty when I heard this. I already like her, but she clearly didn't feel this way. My parents then told me maybe I should have a talk with her and tell her she's my sister and I love her. I told them I don't feel ready for that talk. I like Julia, but it's been just 7 months and I don't see her as my sister. They asked me when I would feel ready, and I said I don't know. I told them I don't think I'll ever be able to truly see her as my sister. My parents seemed to be surprised by my response. They paused for a while and then said soon they will adopt her legally, so I should accept she's going to be my sister. I don't know why, but I felt so hurt, and I started crying. They tried to calm me down, but I just couldn't stop crying. I felt too overwhelmed and threw a little fit. My mom said she's so disappointed in me, and my dad told her to give me some time to process things. This morning they wanted to talk about this again, but I didn't want to. My mom told me I'm not a kid anymore, and that I need to do better than this. Now I can't help but feel resentful towards Julia. I know she's just a kid, But part of me even thinks she told them about that birthday wish of hers, on purpose to make me look bad. Am I the butthole? AITA info. 1. Yes, I'm an only child. 2. They didn't start the legal process yet. My mom meant it like they made up their minds about adopting her, as in it is their final decision, and they will begin the process soon. Sorry if that part was confusing. English isn't my first language. I read through all of your advice. I decided to have that talk with my parents. I mean, we will have to make that talk at some point anyway. I can't escape forever. I couldn't express myself properly the last time. So, hopefully this time I can. I will try to not get emotional, and I won't try to change their minds or anything. I would feel forever guilty if they gave up on Julia because of me. I will just express my honest feelings about the situation. I will also try to work on those feelings. Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. Not the butthole. Your mother is not being fair trying to guilt you into expressing something that you do not feel. Your father sounds like he at least nearly understands by telling your mother to give you more time. I would be pushing back at your mother. Mom, you're right. I'm not a kid anymore, which means that I decide whether I love someone or not. I like Julia just fine. And if she's going to be part of our family, maybe that will grow into love. Maybe it won't. I am not going to make promises. Don't get involved in arguments about whether Julia is or is not your sister. Keep it to that. If your mother keeps putting you under pressure, ask her exactly what she, or allegedly, Julia, wants you to do. Not what they want you to feel. No one can gatekeep that. What they want you to do. It might just be a matter of spending more time with Julia if you can. Don't let this get out of hand though. You have a right to your own life and friends. There is no obligation for you to love Julia, as long as you are kind to her, which it sounds like you are being, as you said already, that you like her. I would seek some outside support around this. Your mother is being a bit weird TBA. I wonder if she is missing having a young daughter now you are growing up, and could maybe do with looking at her own motives. What will happen when Julia gets into her teens and isn't a kid anymore? Sounds like you are being the adult around this, as you've obviously thought about it quite carefully, which is far more to your credit than just giving in to pressure. Take care. Here's the response from OP. I wonder if she is missing having a young daughter now you are growing up. I think so too, and it hurts me to see her doing all the fun things we used to do together with Julia. None of that feels special anymore. She's even calling her the same nicknames she used to call me when I was her age. I know I shouldn't be saying this because parents are supposed to love their children equally, but it hurts even more to think they love us equally when it's just been 7 months. They probably love her even more because she's younger. I don't think I could ever accept 2 strangers as my new parents, but they accepted her as their new child in less than a year. I just feel so unimportant. Love isn't a finite thing. They can love both of you endlessly. She's doing them because she knows they brought you joy. And bringing you joy was a really incredible part of your mother's life. As you got older, you pulled away, which is exactly what should happen. But of course, it hurts to see those actions repeated. But it makes them more special, not less. She wants to make a child experience the same joy you did. That's an incredible action you've inspired in her. She's even calling her the same nicknames she used to call me when I was her age. That's reprehensible. They are each their own person. They deserve their own nicknames and their own individual relationship with mom. They're not interchangeable. To stop calling her older daughter those pet names and start up with the exact same nicknames for a new young foster kid is wrong. And so is forcing somebody to say I love you and consider you my family when they don't mean it, just because somebody else wants to hear it. This entire situation is the parents' making. At the center of it is 2 children effectively being made to feel like they pitted against each other. Deliberately? Almost definitely not. But some of the worst things in the world have been done with the best intentions. Like I said in another comment, this is why I believe all children in foster families should have mandatory counseling and independent support to help them navigate really complex situations. I can't imagine fostering or adopting without talking to my existing kid first about my and my spouse's intentions, what it would mean for the family as a whole. If they were okay with gaining and very likely losing a kid, with lots of issues, in the household more than once, and possibly eventually getting an adopted sibling. And getting family therapy support before fostering, plus whatever extra help anyone, especially the foster kid, needed. For goodness sake, plenty of people are indifferent to, or even loathe their full bio siblings from birth, and even on into adulthood, even when a sibling is older and was always in their life. Expecting a kid to say they love their foster sibling and consider them close family in 6 months is silly. Yeah, happily that does happen sometimes, but it shouldn't be expected. And yet, parents do, which is why it should be mandatory. I've spent short periods of time as Julia, and some parents simply aren't fit to provide basic support to their bio kids, let alone an unrelated child with complex needs, which all foster kids enter a home with existing trauma. Training and requirements for foster parents can vary wildly from location to location. So parents may have been taught not to act like this because it can harm both the pre-existing child and the child that's going to be adopted. They actually may be deliberately. In any case, a couple doesn't become foster parents overnight. It's supposed to take an extended amount of time because of necessary clearance, training, and evaluation that's supposed to determine if the couple can understand the requirements of being foster parents and are determined to be suited for it. Bad foster parents will be bad foster parents, no matter what. But those bad foster parents can't claim ignorance to what they had to learn to qualify to become foster parent. And now for the next story. Am I the butthole telling my cousin has ugly because he keeps questioning my boyfriend's sexuality? I am 22F. I have been dating my boyfriend for around a year. My boyfriend is a model. He looks extremely androgynous and has longer hair. I don't mind this at all despite people seeing him as feminine. I see him as beautiful, and him being comfortable with his sexuality and letting me do makeup on him, paint his nails, is a bonus. My dad and his girlfriend has met him. They are completely fine and never disrespected him because of the way he looks. I figured it was time for my boyfriend to meet the family at a birthday party last week, because all my cousins already have partners they have introduced. We went and had fun. My boyfriend is social and was able to get along with most of my family just fine, so I thought everything was okay. I have an oldest cousin who is extremely traditional and obnoxious. We went eating yesterday with my dad and a few other cousins, and he started interrogating me on my boyfriend's sexuality. It was extremely disrespectful. He was making fun of my boyfriend's hair, his build, his painted nails, his clothes, and even going to the point where he was questioning me on if my boyfriend was even into women. I am not confrontational, especially with family, but this asshole is fucking annoying. He was negging me and trying to make my relationship into a joke because my boyfriend isn't traditionally masculine. I told him at least my boyfriend wasn't a fat, ugly fuck like him. He is the prize, so he should stop speaking. I could have gone further below the belt, but my cousin shut up, and I didn't want to cause further issues. The fact that he thinks it's okay to shame me when his girlfriend isn't the most attractive person yet I still treated her with nothing but kindness and grace is ridiculous. It's like he feels entitled to disrespect me because I am the youngest and a woman. When we got home, my dad told me not to say anything next time because I already know my cousin is a dumbass and it isn't worth it. He said he gets that I am mad, but to next time, let him handle it because I escalated the situation. Am I the butthole? Now let's check out some of the comments on this post. Not the butthole. Too bad you didn't try to push the envelope regarding him being non-traditional. That would have really pushed your cousin's buttons. Not your fault your cousin is morally uptight. But please don't go after his GF. She's innocent and doesn't deserve to be caught in the crossfire. Just stick to the person that is doing the insulting themselves. Here's the response from OP. The worst part is that I am probably one of the most empathetic people in the family towards his girlfriend. She is older and not conventionally attractive. The amount of shit my family talked behind her back was gross, and I stood up for her and got at least my immediate family to stop commenting on her appearance. My cousin doesn't know this, because my defense of her wasn't conditional, nor did I want to hold it over his head. My dad told me not to say anything next time, because it wasn't worth it. Why wasn't standing up for yourself and your boyfriend worth it? Seems like it was completely worth it to you. Next time, let him handle it. Also seems like he could have handled it this time but didn't. Considering this behavior is a regular occurrence with your cousin, I'm guessing your dad never has. I escalated the situation. May I point out, wouldn't. I could have gone further, but my cousin shut up. That is what I would call de-escalation. Not the butthole, but your cousin definitely is. And your dad kind of is as well. Your focus on his girlfriend's attractiveness is weird when you are saying he shouldn't judge your boyfriend's appearance. The way you talk about her makes it sound like you think you deserve a medal for being nice to such an ugly wretch. You can't have it both ways. For what it's worth, I think you were not the butthole about arguing back to your cousin. But the way you spoke about this poor woman made me wince. I never made fun of his girlfriend. You are willfully misinterpreting my point, that he has no room to talk as me making fun of her when I never did anything of the sort. I wasn't just nice to her. I actively told my family to stop commenting on the way she looks, because it was dehumanizing. People are allowed to speculate hypocrisy without being insulting, and I didn't tell him anything because, again, my defense of her was never conditional. Like and subscribe for more awesome daily Reddit content. And don't forget to hit the bell to get notified when I upload new videos.